How do you say pecan? 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 Why are we so confused about the name of this nut? Part of it has to do with regional preferences, but more important than that is the haphazard way it entered the English language. Europeans knew nothing of the pecan when Spanish explorers first encountered it along the Guadalupe River in southeastern Texas in the 1500s. Those explorers simply called them nueces, nuts, or nogales, walnuts. The next European reports on the pecan came from French explorers on the lower Mississippi in the 1700s. They described a type of small walnut, no bigger than a thumb, that was very good to eat. They said the natives called it pecan. There were different native languages in the region that all belonged to the Algonquian language family, and all had a word something like pecan. It referred to hard-shelled nuts in general. There were various pronunciations, but the French explorers settled on pecan, and this is where English got it from. At the end of the French and Indian Wars, around 1760, pecan tree seeds were brought to the colonies from Illinois, the northeasternmost part of Pecan Territory. For a time, folks in the East called it the Illinois nut. But the word pecan also made its way over, and as with any borrowing, there was a period of adjustment where people figured out how to make the French word English. Washington and Jefferson, who both planted some at their estates, spelled it in different ways. A problem for French words coming into English is that French likes to stress the second syllable, while English prefers first syllable stress. Think of all the most basic English words: mother, father, water, winter, summer. That stress preference has pulled many a borrowed French word into line. Montagne, mountain. So, pecan, pecan? Well, not always. We let the foreign stress stay on newer borrowings like ballet, vaccine, garage, and plenty of other words. That's part of what makes English stress so unpredictable. The tension between the two stress patterns leads to dialect differences. In Britain, they say ballet, garage, and vaccine. There are differences within the U.S., too, where some say cement, umbrella, July, guitar, and cigar. So as pecan moved from the more linguistically mixed territories toward the coast, stress shifted to the English first syllable, and that shift plus the influence of spelling introduced changes in the first vowel. Now we have some regional tendencies: pecan in French Louisiana and west into parts of Texas, pecan in New England and down the coast through Georgia, and something like pecan everywhere else. But these tendencies are kind of slight. You might get a difference from town to town, or even within the same family. Many of us aren't even sure which one we use and switch back and forth. For what it's worth, cashew, another borrowed word for another New World crop, has the same problem. It's nuts, but in the most delicious way.